Hello and welcome to Voices of Parenting podcast. I am so glad you're here. My name is Mussi Diskin. I am an advanced nurtured heart approach trainer. I am a parenting coach. I am also an inner wealth coach, which means that I help people rediscover and connect to the people that they truly were all along, but may have gotten forgotten along the way. So to find out more about me and what I offer, you can check out mussidiskin.com, contact me through there, respond to this podcast, find me on social media. I would love to connect and I would love to hear your feedback. To sponsor a Voices of Parenting podcast episode, please reach out to energizinghearts@gmail.com. Thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Today, we are back with Ari from Todd Spot. Listen to the last recording we did together to find out more about her and her story into the Nurtured Heart approach. But today I'm excited because we are going to be delving a little bit more into the specific experience and wisdom that Ari has and so generously offers to her community of moms and dads on a daily basis in her business. So Ari, why don't you take a minute to just reintroduce yourself, tell us a little bit more about what you do and who you are, and then let's talk practical strategy for the little people.
Yeah. Hi. Thank you for having me again. I am so happy to be here and share anything that could help anyone out there that is listening. As we said on the other podcast, I am the founder of ThoughtSpot. At ThoughtSpot, we guide and support parents through the first 4 years of life, where we work on breastfeeding, bottle feeding, sleep, development, solids. It's like a mix of everything because we work on the entire self of a person and not only like one area. So we put all the pieces together. And today I wanna share with you how at ThoughtSpot we basically follow the same approach with Nurture Heart. And so everything that I do is inspired by the approach that completely transformed my own parenting, which is basically helping kids build inner wealth, creating meaningful connections, and guiding our kids with genuine love, respect, and very clear guidance. We help moms tackle different challenges, as I say, like potty training, sleep training, breastfeeding, and basically everyday parenting strategies. But it's not about a quick fix. It's about like deeply understanding our kids, supporting them and ourselves too, through any challenge that they have with patience, compassion, and the most important to me, it's confidence for the parent and for the child. So a little bit on how I implement Nurture Heart with ThoughtSpot is basically number one is really knowing your child, taking time to truly understand your child's personality, what they need at different time. A 2-month-old doesn't need the same that a 12-month-old needs. Obviously, love, affection, they need at all times, but in general, they have different physical needs. Understanding their strengths, their struggles, and we don't treat them like checklists, like you do this, you do this. We treat them like, like a whole person since they are born. We also see change as positive. So a lot of people think like if you sleep train, they feel like bad that they're sleep training, and so they see it as something negative instead of seeing the long-term benefits of a child who sleeps well. So we focus on looking, the change is what makes us grow, what makes us better. And a lot of the time, especially with children, they don't like change. Most kids don't like change. If they've been sleeping, in the parents' arms, when you want to transition to a crib, they will not like it. They will not like it because no kid, no adult loves change. We struggle with change, but it doesn't mean that it's a negative thing. It's something we need to push through and go through that phase that sometimes might feel like you're we have some guilt there. We feel like we're not doing the right thing. But if we see the full picture, if we see what benefits of whatever we're doing is bringing, most of the times the benefits are better than whatever the struggle at the moment is. And again, we highlight the strengths, not the weaknesses. So it's so easy to focus on what frustrates us about our kids, but basically celebrating their strengths helps them grow confident and capable. And yes, this can happen since very, very early. They naturally rise to our positive expectations. And so a lot of the moms that I work with, they start with me, since basically pregnancy. And I always recommend, the nurture heart approach for parenting, but they're like, aren't they too young? And yes, to see like huge change, I think that, as we spoke in the last podcast, like the 3 years old is when you see like, wow. But in general, the more practice you have since very early, starting from birth, the more practice as a mom, as parents you have in your home, practicing, when you enter this harder or more challenging stages, you already have so much practice, it might come natural. Instead of, you've been doing something and then wanting to change the way you interact with them is way harder. And so this one is one I swear by, and is really believing in our kids and believing in ourselves. That's a big one. And again, since very early, we need to trust that if they're ready to sleep through the night, we need to trust that they can do it. And even if sometimes we have a lot of voices, it can be our own voices or family members, parents, I don't know, we have a lot of voices as parents. Just believing that they can, and you as a mom believing yourself that whatever you're doing is for the best of your children. And so a big part of what I do is encourage the moms and help them build that trust in themselves so that they can transfer that trust to their children.
Okay, I want to ask you something. I love everything you're saying. It's so wonderful that Totspot exists and that there's this kind of support for parents. I just have a very practical question for anybody listening, because I know a lot of parents are going to want to know this. What exactly does Totspot offer? I know that's not the topic of today's conversation, but is it like, so I know you're on Instagram. Is it one-on-one coaching? Is it group setting? Like, what is Totspot?
Yeah. So we do one-on-one coaching. I have additional materials to support the one-on-ones. And I think that the most beautiful thing that ThoughtSpot has is the community. We built a community of the most amazing moms, the most, how do you say, the most
Engaged, involved?
Engaged parents. They are always looking for how to do the best that they can with their children. And so we meet once a week as a group. Whoever is in the community can join, and we share our struggles, we share our wins. We don't feel alone in parenting. Even if you have a full tribe, a lot of times can feel very lonely. So that's something that has a lot of benefits, to just see what everyone is going through. We all go through struggles, and we all surpass those struggles. And also, yeah, so that's with potty training, with sleep, and everything in between.
So
yeah,
that's incredible. I love that you have that this exists, and I'm sure that many people will be excited to know that there's the capacity, the capability of joining such a thing. So so let's get practical. Let's hear some advice. What would you tell? What's your basic kind of plan of action with some of these things? I guess we could start with sleep training if that's where you wanted to start. Sleep in general. What's your philosophy? And I'm excited because I'm so aligned with Nurtured Heart. So let's hear how they go together.
Yeah. So I'm going to go over sleep training first, and then we can go over potty training if you'd like, and how I use NHA throughout the sleep training process. Sleep training is so much more than just getting your child to sleep through the night. It's about building emotional security. It's about building trust and confidence in not only kids, but also in parents. And so I'm going to give you an overview of how I go through the stands, like an example. So the stand one is absolutely no. We refuse to energize negative behaviors. That means when your child protests bedtime or has a rough night, we respond calmly and neutrally and not with frustration or guilt. So we work in our own guilt and we don't energize when they're not doing the right thing. If they're fighting bedtime, if they're not wanting to cooperate through the routine, we don't energize that. And also something very important that I tell parents is when we're doing the sleep training process, there are different ways to deal with the crying, let's say, which is the most scary part for parents. And so whatever method you choose, at night or during sleep time, you need to be boring. You don't want to energize that behavior, because if your child is crying, going crazy, okay, and you go in and you start like trying to figure it out, I love you, my love, please go to sleep, and you energize, every time they want mommy, they're gonna do more of that. And so when we have these interactions of making them feel safe, of checking in with them, we want to be boring at those times. I'm not talking about throughout the day. I'm talking specifically at night, because you don't want that behavior to continue. And the more energy you give to that, the more they'll want to do that. And so another absolutely no is I often see parents feeling very guilty during sleep training, because naturally kids resist change, as we said before. But the truth is, we're not hurting them. We're giving them a lifelong skill. So I help moms let go of their own guilt, their own doubts, and reminding them they're creating a healthier, happier child. And as a result, they're creating a healthier, happier family. And then we go to stand two, the absolutely yes. We immediately celebrate every little success, no matter how small. I'll give you some examples of things I used. Is, for example, a child who slept in their crib, which is something that if you want to do it, wow, you stayed in your crib all night by yourself. You did it. Even if the child cannot leave the crib, like it doesn't matter, he still stayed in the crib. And so we want to energize that so that they want to do more of that. With, let's say, older toddlers, we use normally I recommend this lamp that when it's time to sleep, it's red, and when it's time to wake up, it's green. And when we start the process of sleep training, let's say the first couple of nights, what I tell parents is, in the morning, as soon as your child wakes up, even if it's not time to wake up, put the light green. And so giving that, creating that success for them, you put it green and you go in the room and you tell them, you woke up and you saw the light red and you waited until the light turned green. Even if it was a second, it doesn't matter. They stayed in the crib, and you just create success for them. And as a result, again, they'll want to do more of that. Yeah, I don't know if you have any other recognitions you would use for sleep.
I love that. I love that idea with the green light to turn it on right away so that they have that feeling of satisfaction and success that they can do it. And that's so good on so many levels.
Yeah, and also with the older kids, we teach them to stay in their crib, and a lot of times they suit themselves to sleep, and that's something we want to energize too. You know, like you were sad when mommy left the room, but you understand the rules, and still you were able to go through the feeling and still regulate yourself. That's huge. And so always energizing these little things. It doesn't matter if the child is a baby or a 5-year-old, will create success for them and for you. And then this one is my favorite, and I think it's the most important, and it's absolutely clear. Having clear rules and expectations give children a feeling of safety and predictability. And so what I do is I help moms establish simple, clear bedtime routines that everyone understands. So whoever is putting the child to sleep, knows the rule, and the child would have clarity on what is going to happen. And that is huge, because that gives the child a sense of security. Okay, I know what's coming, I know what to expect, and even if I don't like it, this is what is going to happen. And something I use also for toddlers, which is great, is role playing and a lot of clear communication. So for example, if you are starting the sleep training process on a 3-year-old, first you need to communicate what is going to happen. What's going to happen? You can't get to bedtime and put your child in the bed, and then the child won't know what to expect. Are you coming in? Are you not coming in? Am I sleeping in your room? Am I not sleeping in your room? So explaining to them the plan. And so what I talk moms through is, you talk to them like adults. You say, everyone has special places to sleep. You sleep in your crib or bed. Mommy and papi sleep in their bed. Everyone has special places to sleep. And that is what we're going to work on. You are going to stay in your bed. And what also, give them the rules. What is going to happen if they don't want to? If they wake up in the middle of the night, what's going to happen? And so based on the plan that I work with the parent, that's what you need to communicate to the child. So if you want the child to sleep with you, then that is the rule. You let them know, okay, you're sleeping with me. A lot of parents do that. There's nothing against it. You can do the sleep training, both ways. It's just teaching them what are they supposed to do? Because if they don't know what to do, how can you expect them to do it?
Yeah.
And so with toddlers, we do a lot of role playing, like during the day, not at bedtime. You play, like, okay, let's play. What's going to happen at night? We do the routine. I will put you in the bed, the light turned red, and you kind of like leave the room. And so you say, oh, I left the room. And then you go in and you said, you turn the light green, and you say, you stayed in your crib. You see, you can do this. And so a lot of practice gives them better clarity on what's happening. And then with younger children, the clarity would come with what you are showing them. So following through whatever plan it is, that's how you're going to make sure that they understand what the rules are.
I love everything you're saying. Oh my gosh, I have so much to say about all of it. I'm going to try not to, because I want you to say more things.
No, I love it. Come.
I just like that piece about, okay, the clarity, the role playing, creating success before you have success, right? Because they didn't really stay in bed yet, but you role played it in a way that you were able to give them a first-hand experience of success without it even being nighttime yet. So they already feel good about staying in their beds, with the green light and whatever it is you're doing. And the consistency of showing them and following through. So often it's so easy for us to just baby our babies and feel like, what do they know? Whatever, they're crying. They're learning every second. Their brains are so much faster than our brains at creating connections. And the way that they interpret the world and understand the world is through what we do with them and through what they do. That's how they learn to crawl. That's how they learn everything. So when we say we're going to do it and then we do it, that's how they learn. And when we say it and we don't do it, then they learn that what we say isn't what we're going to do. And so they don't need to listen to what we're going to say. They only need to listen to what we're going to do. And it's so young. They learn that right away.
And that's when confusion comes in. That's when they're like, I don't know, mommy is telling me one thing, but she's showing me another. So it's like that, like uncertainty that can create a lot more crying, a lot more, they can have more difficult time during the day, getting to that anxious time where they don't know what's going to happen, instead of being so calm and confident. And confidence is a big part, because if you are going in the room to soothe your child, you need to be confident that what you're doing is okay, and that you're going to follow through. Because if you go in and you're unsure, the kids pick up on everything. And so if they feel that you're not confident, they will feel like, oh, maybe there's something wrong in whatever is happening here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's so important and it's so true. And the crazy thing, Ari, about everything you're saying and sleep training is that sleep training happens when we're at our worst, because it's in the middle of our sleep We're so tired. It's so hard. It's hard to be consistent even during the day, even when we're doing well. But when we're half asleep and you can't even like think straight, you know how many times like I've woken up and thought of something and then spent so much time like half thinking about it and half falling back asleep that like I could have just taken care of it and gone back to sleep or decided not to, but I can't even make the decision because I'm half asleep. Like to even begin to know, like it's the hardest time to be clear because we're so foggy, you know? So what do you say to that? What's your advice or what your parents do? How to navigate that?
Yeah, yeah. 100% agree with you. And most of the times the parents are borderline exploding, so tired they cannot even interact. And so that's the work I do with them. I encourage them to follow, even if they're exhausted, because also this process, if you do it correctly, they learn really fast. Kids learn so fast. Like in one day you can see huge progress. So I kind of give them the light before they see the light. So I kind of picture like in 3 days you're gonna be feeling like this. So just push through. It's just 3 days. If you don't do anything, you're gonna be like this 3 years. Because I see parents, zero judgment, because I know how hard it is, but I see parents that they haven't been sleeping for 3 years. And also that, how can you that's also something I wanted to say, is that teaching your child to sleep independently not only gives them a million benefits of sleeping well, being rested, being happy, being healthier, it also gives the parent so much more room and opportunity to be the best parents they can be. Because if you are rested, and if your child is not giving you a hard time during nighttime, which is very hard, or during the day when you need to work, then the times that you are with them, you focus 100% on them. So it's a win-win. You are giving them the best, and as a result, you are rested and you are taking care of yourself, and that way you can give everything to them. And something very important I want to add, and is sleep training is not denying your child, is not throwing them on the crib, is not a lack of attachment or connection. It is the opposite. The times that they are awake, that they should be awake, you are giving quality time. You are giving connection. Even if it is, this is something I really tell parents, even if it's 5 minutes a day, it doesn't matter. Whatever time you have during the day, you want to make them feel seen. You want to make them feel loved. You want to give them confidence. And so a little something that I love to do is put on your schedule 5 minutes. 5 minutes that you do whatever the child wants to do. You sit down next to them, doing exactly what they're doing, and just making them feel seen. How do you make them feel seen? If they're building a magnetite tower, you tell them, oh, that's a big tower. You don't have to tell them how amazing you are or whatever. You can just tell them, I see that you're building a huge tower. And that, giving that quality time instead of quantity, we want quality, will help your child feel more confident when it's time to be alone and to be not only sleeping, but to be in school, to be with other people. So yeah.
I think the thing, two points, and then we'll close with this, and I'm going to ask you to share with everyone how to find you. The piece about it taking like 3 days and just getting through it, like sometimes I think about, it's been totally my experience with all my kids, but sometimes I think about like if you knew that there was going to be some sort of, God forbid, like a surgery, and there was going to be a recovery process, you'd set your calendar appropriately. You'd get the help you needed for that time, knowing that you're going to be on bed rest, you're not going to be up and about. You know that you need to plan for it. It's almost like plan for it, like 3 days, like you're going to be exhausted, you're not sleeping, plan to be like, people work at night, there are people who work at night, and maybe you can't sleep all day. I don't know how you feel about coffee, maybe extra help, maybe hire a babysitter those days to take a nap, whatever it is, but like it's going to be crazy, and be prepared, but then it's going to be over. Like that's so fantastic. And then that piece you were saying about the attachment and how it doesn't have to take away from the attachment, I love clarity for this reason, that stand for you were talking about. When there's crystal clear clarity of the rules and what's supposed to happen, it almost becomes like it becomes a third objective thing to us. It's me and you against the clarity. I'm with you. I say this to my kids sometimes, especially when they're struggling with sleep. I wish I could stay with you. I want to stay with you. I wish I could stay here the whole night. Oh, the clock says I have to go, but I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you. Can I give you one more hug? One more hug, please, please. I'm the one who's like, one more hug, just one more hug. Okay, I know I said I only am gonna say well good night one time, but can I please say good night 2 times? I just want to say good night 2 times. I just want to I'm leaving you. I don't want to leave you because finally it's nighttime and I can get my alone time and goodbye. Like they feel that energy too. So I want to have the clarity in place so I know my alone time is coming and I can rest in that and I can be really present now because I know it's coming in 2 minutes. For these 2 minutes, like I'm obsessed with you, child.
Yeah.
This is before nighttime starts. I'm obsessed with you, child. I'm so sad. I used to one of my kids, I would kiss them all over their face. You have to know your kid, right? But this one kid, I think maybe 2 years old or a year and a half, kiss all over their face, all of this, just as if I can't stop kissing. I just can't. I'm so sad. I'm going to miss you all night. If you come out of your bed, I have to put you back in your bed. I can't even kiss you at night. So could I give you 100 kisses now? Because in middle of the night, I'm not going to be able to kiss you. And I'm just going to put you.
That.
And the fantastic part of that is I'm teaching the rules and I'm showing them that when I'm putting them in their bed without kissing them in the middle of the night, like you said, be boring, right? When I'm putting them in bed without kissing them at night, there's no relational meaning to that. It's just the rules of nighttime. The relational meaning is that I'm going to miss you and it's going to be hard for me not to kiss you at night. I'm going to have to force myself not to because I also have to follow the rules. I'm a mommy. I have to follow the rules just like you have to follow the rules and I have to make sure you stay in your bed.
I love that.
Thank you.
That. And what I meant boring is not when you put them to sleep. When you put them to sleep, you want to do exactly what you did. But in the middle of the night, you don't want to be doing that because they'll crave that. So you want the craving to be before.
Exactly. And when there's that routine, it's like this happens, this happens, this happens. I'm on. Juice, delicious. When mommy turns off the light and walks out and closes the door, boom, boring till morning. That's
Love
just,
it.
Yeah, fantastic. Ari, how can people find you? How can they get more of you? What's the way to best way
you
to find
can find me on Instagram at ThoughtSpot. Yeah. And you can send me a DM. I want to say one last thing. Don't wait until you're burnt. Look for help. Even if it's not me, anyone that can help you, look for help. There is no need to struggle. You can have help. Your child can sleep. Don't wait until the last second that you're collapsing, which I see very often, obviously, because that's when the necessity comes. But there is no need to wait for it. I know it's an investment, but it's an investment that is worth it. 100%.
Yes. Fantastic. Thank you, Ari. Go reach out. Don't wait till it's too late. And this has been fantastic. What a gift. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hey, wait, don't go yet. Take a minute to find the beautiful quality that you have, that you appreciate about yourself.